Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackford Book Club and another volume of my essential film reviews collection. Shh, come in, I've got a secret. I love this film to obsessive levels, ridiculous levels. So the problem is that I can't read my own blooming writing. Obviously this isn't my gig. I'm just trying to look intelligent with a bunch of books behind me and a Salvador Dali painting hanging on the wall. But I try. But I'm also now going to relax and try to give a modicum, just a modicum of justice to my own written word for a film I utterly adore. And you can just relax too. It's just you and me, it's just me and you. Go on, stretch out. Have that second glass of wine. Go on, treat yourself. Be a devil. Go on, treat yourself. You put this kid behind the wheel. There's nothing he can't do. I love this wonderful film to almost obsessive, Magnolia, Paul Thomas Anderson type levels, and it's a very high watermark in the burgeoning cinematic career of Nicolas Winding Refn. Why? Who can't love a film that so dramatically, and indeed so violently, changes gears so unexpectedly? Who can't fall in love with the film's core? A beautiful and heart-rending love story between a shy coffee shop waitress and a movie stuntman driver. Who can't but admire the stellar cast of actors who play against their perceived character type? Who won't fall in love with the 1980s tinged synthesizer soundtrack complementing the crystal clear visuals? And who amongst you aren't heartbroken by the film's denouement, as justice may be done, though the heavens may fall? Based on the book by James Salis, with a screenplay from Hossein Amini, Drive is very much a Nicolas Winding Refn film, containing many of his accomplished touchstones, jolting and unexpected graphic violence, brilliantly captured slow-motion segments heightening the build-up to significant scenes, thorough and nuanced characters that shine from the screen, through to a sublime soundtrack that is very distinctive and a very distinctive character all of its own. Throw in beautiful wide cityscape shots reminiscent of Michael Mann's crystal clear visions in Heat, driving sequences that take your breath away, and a beautiful love story at the film's core, and you have a truly outstanding and wonderful film. The 1980s tinged soundtrack from regular collaborator Cliff Martinez is a real joy and is supplemented superbly by individual songs such as Tick of the Clock by Chromatics, and particularly A Real Hero by College, featuring Electric Youth. This track complements a drive through a dry underpass perfectly, encapsulating the mood of the film, and is one of the many standout scenes. Director of photography Newton Thomas Seidel deserves immense credit for bringing Refn's vision for the film to life, from the wide cityscape shots through to the simple use of mirrors and reflections and the angles captured during the multiple car chase scenes. Bryan Cranston is magnificent as Shannon, the driver's manager, agent and would-be buddy. Scatty, nervous and portraying an almost permanent state of being on edge and looking over his shoulder, he has a heart of gold and a loving affection for the driver, whom he always calls Kid. Shannon loves the kid, cars and the repair garage he owns, but away from these familiar staples of his life, he struggles with his back against the wall, in debt to two local gangsters. Both of these local gangsters play against their usual character type, with Albert Brooks in particular bringing Bernie Rose to life with all the charm of a venomous snake. Ron Perlman also excels as his more exuberant but charmless partner Nino. Bernie and Nino are partners, nefarious and illegal partners full of their own self-importance, but they're also streetwise and utterly ruthless. Shannon and Nino clearly have a long history, and it's to Nino whom Shannon saves his ire for in a whispered rebuke of he wouldn't be able to find pussy in a whorehouse. All three performances, with Ron Perlman more in a cameo role, are truly stellar in every way and are ably supported by further cameo roles from a pre-Coen Brothers influenced Oscar Isaac as Standard and Christina Hendricks as Blanche. There are further cameos from James Biberi as Cook and Russ Tamblyn as Doc, but special recognition must be paid to Caden Leos as Benicio, more of which later. However, in a twisted movie love affair, we must have a maiden to go with our male, and Carey Mulligan provides a career-defining portrayal of Irene. Before Drive, Carey Mulligan was a rising star in Public Enemies and Never Let Me Go, and has since excelled in the brilliant Shame and Inside Llewyn Davis. But here she portrays unrequited love and desire brilliantly, with every awkward gesture and the sweetest of sweet smiles. Mother to Benicio and wife of Standard, she is falling in love with someone else, and her every look and desire is yearning to be with him. Irene and the driver share so many longing looks and half looks, and it's their non-verbal language that shines through, as they share so very little direct dialogue. This is purposely so, as it breaks the heart still further, and is brilliantly portrayed, and very subtly at times by a stunning Carey Mulligan, with her Irene just so desperately wanting to be with her kid. Driver Ryan Gosling, also affectionately known as the Kid, but this vagueness and lack of background is very deliberate throughout the film to maintain the mystique of the Kid, this stoic, man about town, genteel young man. Star turns in The Magnificent Blue Valentine, Ides of March and The Place Beyond the Pines sandwich Ryan Gosling's career-high watermark performance here as the driver. From his first introduction whilst framed with his back to the camera, but visible through the hotel room window and merged against the beautiful cityscape vista, as he calmly describes his methodical instructions to an unseen client, through to the heart and gut-wrenching finale, Ryan Gosling firmly establishes himself as one of cinema's bright new lights. As the title suggests, he's a driver, both professionally and for added kicks, but remains a loner of sorts, meticulous enough to destroy all traces of his past life, and able to walk away or indeed drive away from any situation at a moment's notice. Strong-willed and piercing eyes that draw you into the screen, his laconic style portrays his unseen inner belief of right and wrong and social justice. Clad in his distinctive scorpion motif jacket, toothpick forever dangling from his mouth, his life is dominated by driving and cars, whether as a movie stuntman or working at Shannon's car repair garage. But meeting neighbours Irene and Benicio reaffirm his outlook on life forever, but with the obstacles in their path, will it be too late? As previously alluded to, the driver and Irene share so many heart-rending scenes of a love that cannot be theirs, but equally affecting are the scenes shared with Irene's son Benicio. The two kids bring out the best in each other, and as their friendship grows, so does the driver's protection of Benicio, and their shared staring games are one of the film's real highlights. Never rushed or flustered, and with the deliberately minimal dialogue more than made up for with his every look and every gesture. This is a stellar and career-high performance from Ryan Gosling. The film as a whole only garnered one Oscar nomination for sound editing, but was fully deserving of so many more. This oft violent but heartbreaking and sweet tale of unrequited love is Nicolas Winding Refn at a career-defining moment for me, and Drive vies for position in my already overcrowded favourite films of all time. Stunningly beautiful and beautifully stunning, Drive never fails to resonate profoundly with me, and is a true classic for the ages. And that was Drive, directed by Nicolas Winding Refn. Couple of stumbles, so I'll give you a minor story to finish with. I first saw Drive on the big screen a couple of weeks after it first came out, but in a double bill with Kevin Smith's magnificent, ridiculously brilliant Red State. It was the day of release for Red State, a couple of weeks after for Drive. And I watched Drive, and then I watched Red State. That's not a bad double bill, as I'm sure you'll agree, if you're watching this video. Blimey. Right, thanks very much for watching. I almost did that. Nah, 85%? Nah, who cares? Right, thanks for watching. I hope you had that second glass of wine. I hope you open those packet of chocolate biscuits. And I hope the world is turning in your favour, in your corner of the world. And I'll leave you in peace. And in solidarity. Thanks so much for watching. Peace, everyone.